Bridge to the Doctorate is a wonderful program sponsored by the National Science Foundation, and its purpose is to broaden participation in the sciences for minority students, specifically in graduate programs. And it provides $30,000 for students for 2 years to go into a STEM field and to do research and to work towards their PhD. It's a wonderful program, and we have a group of panelists here today that are going to talk and answer your questions and share information about the Bridge to the Doctorate. Do you have any questions for Dr. Holland?
Some of these around. I might see some people here.
Do you apply straight to NSF and then they...
Okay, in terms of the research fellowship, yes. In terms of the GK-12 program and the Bridge to the Doctorate program, no. You would apply, and that's a good question, to the university. So for instance, we would have the Bridge to the Doctorate program, and so in the spring we put out an application that we do send out to the area LSAMP projects, and you would fill that out. Of course, simultaneously, someone said, well, do you have to already been admitted into graduate school? That would be nice if you know you're considering Auburn graduate school. But if not, we work with you to get your application in and kind of walk it through the system to try to speed the process up if you have not already applied to the Auburn graduate school.
Fun! And you have no business getting tired if you're having what? Fun. So when you get an A, it's what? It's fun. When you beat other people in the class, it's what? Fun. That's what I'm talking about. Plan your skill, action orientation, self-motivation. Bring your own motive. What would make you get up in the morning? What would make you give up something? Adapt to yourself. Interpersonal skills, personal integrity, self-discipline. Can you manage yourself?
There are 4 components. Probably the first things that most people will look at, unfortunately, are grades and GRE scores. Letters of recommendation are really important, and then the personal statement. It is a package. All 4 of those components are important. If you've got a 1.9 GPA and a 400 on the GRE score, then it probably doesn't matter what you say. If you've got decent grades and decent GRE scores, however you want to define those, then those personal statements and letters of recommendation are important. Again, be real careful who you ask for letters. Ask letters to somebody that really knows you and can say something specific about the skills that you have.
As a matter of fact, one of the things I often say is that when students are asking for someone to write them a recommendation, don't just say, and you always ask, never submit someone's name as a reference without asking first. It happens.
Yes, it does.
Not a good idea.
But ask the person, not will you write me a recommendation, but can you write me an outstanding recommendation? Because a lot of times committees who read these recommendations are seriously looking for ways to distinguish between applicants. And if they start, and they pick up on buzzwords that some folks write down, they don't want to give you an outstanding evaluation. So we're looking for people who are giving you glowing recommendations.
From Savannah State University. He is the Associate Vice President for Research and Sponsored Program at Savannah State University. And then we have Dr. James Mack. He is the Associate Professor of Chemistry at Fort Valley State University. And then last but not least, we have Dr. Anderson, who is a co-principal investigator for the AMP grant, the Peach State Louis Stokes Aligned for Minority Participation Scholars Grant. And he is also the Alumni Foundation Distinguished Professor of Genetics here at the University of Georgia. And each one of them will talk a little bit about undergraduate research.
What they really look for is your ability to communicate. So they ask, what is the most important thing? Communication. You must know how to speak and speak well using the English language well. Also, you should know how to write well. And those 2 things will keep you back more so than having the knowledge. For instance, I was just talking that You can be an Einstein or have the brains and the ability to do that. But if you can't communicate, it's worthless. So I'd say work on your communications along with your STEM majors. Work on your communication skills. If you have an opportunity to take another speech course.
You're not in Tiddlywink. You're in what? STEM. You're in a STEM discipline. And so you have picked a hard what? Climb. Physics, chemistry, mathematics, microbiology, comparative anatomy, parasitology, electromagnetism. Differential what? Equation.
I would say really as early as possible. I feel that it's never too early to start learning what you really want to do. I feel like so many people want to go into MDs and stuff like that because those are the people in the community that they can physically see. Those are the people they go to for their checkups and everything. So they want to do that. And I feel like with a PhD, they don't know the history behind those people who have designed these things and those things. They don't know that those people are PhDs. So I feel if you start maybe in elementary and in middle school saying, if you want to be this scientist, you have to go to school, you have to do this, and this is how this person got that. So just because I don't think I understood the fact that after undergrad, you have to go to school for how many ever more years in order to get a PhD until I think I was in college. So the earlier the better. Students need to understand that after high school, that's not it. After undergrad, that's not it. In order for you to become this power and this ambassador, you must continue on. So I would say as early as elementary or middle school.
Two of the most brilliant minds to bless the 20th century and who are now blessing the 21st century were two people in science and mathematics who were both, one would have been classified as special education if they'd had that classification during his time, and one was. I'm talking about Albert Einstein, and I'm talking about Benjamin Carson. Stop and think about it for a moment. The mind that took science on levels that it has even yet to reach, Albert Einstein would have been a special education student in 21st century schools. Dr. Benjamin Carson was a special education student until he had the inner awakening that said, I do not have to be limited by the parameters that any man or woman, no matter their station in life, sets on me. I am saying to you, my brothers and my sisters in humanity, don't let anything hinder your dreams. I know that you are in difficult fields. I know that you come from diverse family backgrounds where everything is not the textbook for being conducive to you being able to move through school with only thinking about school. I know that real life hits you, and sometimes it hits you very hard. But as one of my favorite artists, Israel Houghton, tends to say, there's a song he says, you know, you need to kind of have a bounce back in your spirit when you're hit by something hard. And when that thing hits you, you bounce back ready in position to keep moving and keep doing what you have to do, because our life as humanity depends on what we as humanity decide to do.
All right, so we've talked about your amazing presentations and poster presentations. So now I have the pleasure of announcing our winners. As Dr. Burke said, all of us are winners, but we do have a couple folks that we're going to highlight today. I do ask that when an award is presented, if our campus coordinators come up to take a picture with their student.
Well, I'm here to bring closing remarks, and I must say, I'm excited, so I hope you were reinvigorated about the task you have before you. Robert Bell told you to understand that you may not make headlines doing what you're doing right now. However, he told you that when you go to undergraduate level studies, graduate level studies, you should go in there with that burglary mentality. You guys remember that? He said, you must have that burglary mentality. He said, you get in any way you can, you get as much as you can, and you get out. Okay? So, I want you to take those words and take them to heart and apply them. You must have that burglary mentality, because every path can be different for every one of you, but the destination can be the same, right? And then you had many workshops. We had graduate schools here to share their information with you about their different programs. And then last night, Dr. Howard Adams told you to do what? Step up, step out, and step onward, right? Step, 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 right? So then this morning, Mr. Stevens came in and he shared his poetry with us, and he told you some stimulating things with his words, right? And together, they're all giving you the same message. You are our future. We need you to be our problem solvers of tomorrow. If not you, then who? Okay? We need you to continue this journey, and you're not alone. That's why Peach State LSAMP is here, to ensure you that you're not alone.